Good morning. Can you start? Had your breakfast, everyone? Good. ठीक है? Okay. So page number 1. Tamil Nadu, Bengal see massive turnout. Over 85% polling in Tamil Nadu and 93% polling in West Bengal in the phase 1. Now this is not a normal number, first of all, frankly speaking. See, for example, please, just to set the context, if you know the voting percentage in 2024 Lok Sabha elections is just 67.5%, 2/3. Now this shows a massive spike. What is the reason for it? General awareness program. Special intensive revision. That is the reason. How many have heard about special intensive revision as of now? Okay, some have not. Fine. Okay, so we will discuss SIR once. Now, see, we had seen, for example, earlier there used to be 70 to 75% voting. There used to be 70 to 75% voting. Now it went to around 85%. And in West Bengal, in West Bengal around 90+% is. The reason behind this is an exercise called as special intensive revision. What is the meaning of this? Special intensive revision. Now, yesterday in the beginning we had discussed about powers of Election Commission of India. We had majorly told that in the conducting elections in the country, Election Commission of India is a major body for Parliament, State Legislative Assembly elections, President and Vice President elections. Now, Article 324 to Article 329 gives powers to the Election Commission of India, and it clearly says that it is a duty of the Election Commission of India to conduct free and fair elections. Free and fair elections. What is the meaning of the word fair? Okay, transparent or integral, say for example, no partiality, all these things. Now, what is happening? If you see, in some constituencies specifically, there are some voters who are dead, their names are there in the list. Some party is using that and they are voting instead of that dead person. In some cases, due to migration, many people went away, but some party are going and voting that. This is called as rigging, right? That means even if the original people are not there in that region, some party is misusing it and going and voting. Further, similarly, one more issue is that fake votes. One person is having 2 to 3 votes. One person is having 2 to 3 votes. Now they are voting in all the constituencies. Some parties are using this loophole. The reason is that if you see in India, everything is linked with Aadhaar except the voter. Otherwise, they cannot cheat, right? So the thing is that there is some problem with respect to the voter list. Voter list, also called technically as electoral roll. Electoral roll. Say, for example, what will be happening? See, I have my vote in 2 different places, in Visakhapatnam and Vijayanagaram. One at my birthplace and the other at my current residence place. Right? Now, rendu nenu eyitledu gani, but the thing is that some other people over there can utilize that. Even if I am not there, if that local politicians know that they will be having an eyesight of everything, right? And dead persons, as I said, so there is some problem with respect to electoral roll. Now, can I say this as a fair election? Obviously not, because even a one vote can decide. So it is the duty of the Election Commission of India for making the elections free and fair. For that, one of the major thing is purification of the electoral rolls. Purification of the electoral rolls. That means to check regularly whether the voter list is good or not, whether there are any inclusion and exclusion errors. That means really people who should be added, their names are not there, but the people who do not need to be added, their names are there. And one more thing is that some people might have got foreign country citizenship, their voting rights should be removed. So all these updations are not happening since many years. Now to do that, Election Commission of India had come up with an exercise called as special intensive revision. So what will be happening as part of this? Booth level officers will be going to each and every house. They will be matching the address and the person. If that person is not there over there, they will give them the notice. If no one is coming, if no one is coming and replying, their vote will be removed. In this format, many votes are removed in many constituencies. For example, in West Bengal, more than in West Bengal, more than 43 lakh votes have been removed. If there are, say, 2 crore voters just per se, 42 lakh means how much percentage? 40 lakh means 20%. That means, say, if it is 4 crore, some 10% voting is down, fake votes have been removed. So this is called as special intensive revision, where Election Commission of India will be trying to purify the electoral rolls. Now, question here is that whether they are doing the things properly or not. Opposition parties are alleging that Election Commission of India is knowingly removing voting rights of some people where there is chance that they might vote the opposition parties. This is an allegation. Next, the second allegation is that Election Commission of India is not giving the sufficient time. See, West Bengal elections happened now. Until 1 month before, revision of electoral roll had happened. See, now poor people, migrant labor, all these people are dying every day, are working every day to get 200 or 300 rupees. If they have to go and have this verification process, they have to leave their wage income for 2 days. How can Election Commission of India expect them to come and do this process? So even Supreme Court had also questioned it, and Supreme Court clearly told that right to vote may not be a fundamental right, but it is a sense of showing patriotism and nationalism for the people. Vote chesin tarvata andaru oka satisfaction tho untaru that we had done some great work. Now without any reason you are trying to remove that. So there are allegations of that. That is second thing. If really the fake votes have been removed by the ECI, this should be highly this praised one. That is for sure. Now the reason for the rise in the electoral voting percentage is because the fake votes have been removed. Say for example, earlier there are 5 crore voters. In these there is 3 crore votes have been polled. So that means 60%. Now what had happened? 1 crore fake votes have been removed. Only 4 crore votes are there. In these 4 crore, 3 crore voters have been voted. That means this is around 75%. Indra is 75%. This is the reason for rise of voting percentage currently. Since the net voters have been reduced comparatively. And now for our prelims examination, what do you need to know? See, this special intensive revision. Everyone is feeling that this is happening for the first time. Not. Until 2002, it used to happen regularly. It used to happen regularly every 5 years. After every election also, Election Commission of India used to do this special intensive revision. But since 2002 to 2026, no type of revision had happened. Understood? So that is the case. And further, This is important for the exam. This special intensive revision doesn't happen for the first time. It happened in the past also. Now coming to the mains. See, in mains they will be having a question with respect to critically analyze the role of Election Commission of India. There in that you can add this point in the example quoting that clearly this Election Commission of India's role it is alleged that ECI is being partisan towards the government in this SAR exercise. Understood? So you can use these examples in the answers. Understood what is meant by this, sir? Special intensive revision, right? Next. Supreme Court questions, bottom article, page number 1 itself. Supreme Court questions ED's claim of rule of law breach in Bengal. Now, maybe in our first class we had discussed about Enforcement Directorate, if I am not wrong. So tell me about Enforcement Directorate. Enforcement Directorate, this is the body responsible for handling, Sanjay, money laundering, mainly deals with money laundering, right? Now Enforcement Directorate gives a type of FIR called as ECIR. Good. Enforcement Case Information Report. What is the difference between ECIR and FIR? See, in FIR it is mandatory that the police officers who are arresting that specific person on a specific case must give the FIR copy to the arrested person and the arrested family. They need to submit that person before the magistrate, judicial magistrate, within 24 hours. Now, if it is for ED officers, this is not needed. Enforcement Case Information Report need not be revealed outside. This is a special power so that we can handle the money laundering properly. Right. Now what is issue? Directorate of Enforcement, it will be under Ministry of Finance. It will be mainly dealing with money laundering. This is getting powers from Prevention of Money Laundering Act, Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. Prevention of Money Laundering Act అంటే దేనికోసం అర్థమైంది కదా, to stop the money laundering. Money laundering means converting black money to white money. That means what they are doing, they do not want to pay the tax, so they will conceal the income they had earned. Through some process they will be turning the black money to white money. Shivaji movie lo చూపించేది. Right. Now Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, you know about Vijay Mallya, Mehul Choksi or Nirav Modi. These had fled the country after doing some type of economic irregularities. Now any person who had done some economic irregularity, financial scam and left the country, those we will be calling as fugitives. Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, economic criminal. Now to handle them, Government of India had come up with Fugitive Economic Offenders Act. Strict powers will be given to the ED. Now to come under this FEO Act, minimum condition is that corruption should be more than 100 crores. దీనికన్నా చిన్నదైతే గవర్నమెంట్కి పట్టదు అనుకుంటా, రైట్? Less than, if it is more than 100 crore, the jurisdiction will be coming under FEO and ED will be coming to the play here. Understood? Fine. Now what is the news here? One see over there. Supreme Court questions ED's claim of rule of law breach in Bengal. ED పనేంటి అసలు? ED పనేంటి? మనీ లాండరింగ్ జరిగిందా లేదో చూడాలి. ఇట్ నీడ్ టు సీ వెదర్ మనీ లాండరింగ్ had happened or not. అదేం చేసింది? వాట్ ఇట్ హ్యాడ్ డన్, ED had submitted a report. Obviously it can submit the report. It says that there is a failure of constitutional machinery in the West Bengal. The word failure of constitutional machinery, I will tell you the background of this word. This is a very strong word. In the yesterday or day before yesterday, I had mentioned about a word called emergency. If you remember, emergency powers under Article 352, 356, 360. 352 means national emergency, 356 means state emergency, also called as failure of constitutional machinery. 360 means this financial emergency. ఇప్పుడు ECI ఏం చెప్పింది, this ED what it is telling, there is a case for failure of constitutional machinery in the West Bengal. అసలు వాళ్ళు ఎవరు చెప్పడానికి? It is just an investigating agency. It is the duty of the governor under Article 355 to submit a report to the national government if there is any type of constitutional violation in the state. రాజ్యాంగానికి అనుగుణంగా నడవట్లేదు అని రిపోర్ట్ ఇవ్వాల్సిన బాధ్యత గవర్నర్ది. Based on that report, president might place this president rule. It can dismiss the ruling government. Now, who is ED here to tell this? We had seen the jurisdiction of ED anywhere, whether we are telling that it has some political power. It is just an investigating agency. Understood? Now, yeah, this is the thing. Even Supreme Court is also questioning this stand or this report of ED. Now, further, one more thing is that in GS2, in federalism, in GS2, in your syllabus, in topic number 3, you will be having a topic called as in MEIS, issues related to the issues between the center and the states. This is the word mentioned in the syllabus. It is nothing but federal issues. What is meant by federalism? If you had done, everyone know what is meant by federalism here? What is meant by federalism? Power distribution between center and states. ఇట్లా అయితే సరిపోద్దాం మరి. Whether power distribution between center and state is there, can I call it as a federal? What more is needed? No. So you are telling that powers are divided between center and the state, so I will be calling it as federal. The thing is that I am giving a counter to it. In UK, power is divided between the center and the state, but that is an unitary form of government, not a federal system. I am asking, you are telling that federalism means power is divided between the center and the state. I am telling in UK, there is center and the state, power is divided between them, but it is an unitary model. Unitary model ante telusu kada, unitary versus federal. Now we won't be considering this as federal. The reason is that, see, that is not the definition of federalism you are telling. Federalism means constitutional division of power, not division of power. Power must be divided by the constitution. Did our constitution divided the powers between the center and the state? Through state list, concurrent list, which schedule? 7th schedule. Our constitution had divided the powers between the center and the state through the 7th schedule, state list, union list and concurrent list. Then ardham enti? What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is that from where the state government is getting the power? From the constitution. It is not getting powers from the center. That means it is not dependent on the center for the powers. That means there are two separate powers here. That is called as federalism. But in UK, even though center and state are there, state is getting powers from the center, not from the constitution. Understood? There are many cases, even in Singapore, in many cases, those are unitary form of government. There also there will be 2 layers of government, but the regional government will be getting powers from the center, not from the constitution. That's why if you see, you will be learning later on, if you have not learned, the major important features of federalism. Chusara idi? The very important features of federalism, in that the one of the very first feature is that to call something as a federalism, there should be a written constitution and independent judiciary. Written constitution. Enduku written constitution ante, if there is a written constitution, it will be dividing the powers. Now center and state are getting the powers from the constitution, not from any other thing. State is not getting power from the center. Understood what I am telling here? Everyone? అర్థమైందా? మళ్ళీ చెప్పాలి, ఇది వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఫైన్, ఓకే. Now what I am telling here, ED, Enforcement Directorate, is a central organization. police, law and order are in state list? First of all, ED itself is a problem for federalism, because in the formation of ED there is no role of state government. Now the bigger problem is that ED is acting as an arm of central government, is trying to bring destability in the states. For example, if you see wherever elections happens, ED is being used as a weapon by the central government. It will be arresting the opposition party members. Right. Now why I am telling this? This is a very good example to quote in your answers, in the federalism answers, saying that ED is being partisan towards the ruling government as alleged by opposition parties. For example, if elections happen in Maharashtra, ED cases will be filed on Shiv Sena. If elections happen in Telangana, ED cases will be filed on BRS. ED case. Right, understood? So that is the thing. So ED is also a jolt on the federalism. Clear, everyone? Even tiffin deshan annaru. Now Trump orders strike against Iran vessels. This is that again ball by ball commentary. Manke avasam ledhu inka. Page number 8, left bottom, INCOIS flags rising marine heat waves in Arabian Sea, warns of ecological impact. INCOIS warns rising marine heat waves in Arabian Sea INCOIS flags rising marine heat waves in Arabian Sea, warns of ecological impact. See what it is telling, in the Arabian Sea, there is rise of marine heat waves. We will see that first. Who is telling this? INCOIS. So first we need to see about this organization. What is the full form of INCOIS over there? See, Indian National Center for Ocean Information Studies. Yeah, Ocean Information Service or Studies. Now this INCOIS is majorly a type of research organization related to marine studies. Now is studying ocean important? Why? Chapali, NCERT class geography. What is the need for studying the oceans? Hint, surface of the ocean. Sea surface temperature. Heard about cyclones? How cyclones will be formed? Heard about 5 conditions for cyclones? If not, you will be learning later on. See, there are 5 conditions for the formation of cyclones. Ante manaki varshalu evaithe padtunayo, tufan or any cyclone is because of some type of events happening in the ocean, Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. Now the major condition is that there should be sea surface temperature of greater than 27 degrees centigrade. If that is there, there is more chance of formation of these cyclones, and if there will be more cyclones, there will be more rains, more flooding, damage to agriculture, sea level rise, storm surges, inundation of the coastal areas, loss of livelihood to the marine people over there, fishermen and all. Right? Now tell me whether research is important or not. If there is proper research, we can find about these coastal things before itself. Early warning system can be enabled, so we can evacuate the people. We can have 0 casualties. Every chanpegunda manam cheyochu. Understood? So that's why this research is important. This INCOIS is majorly an organization which deals with oceanic information. Now see, one more thing, since you are in the beginning, I am telling, any type of organization in the nation, any type of office, will be attached to a ministry. Will be attached to a ministry. Now, say for example, have you heard about Council of Ministers? Council of Ministers, say first of all, under Article 74 and 75, Indian government has been enshrined as an parliamentary form of government. Heard this parliamentary form of government? Parliamentary form of government. The meaning of parliamentary form of government is that there will be legislature, executive, judiciary, there will be separation of powers between them, and legislature will be making the laws, executive will be implementing the laws, judiciary will be finding if there are any problems in these laws. Now, executive will be implementing the laws, right? Executive means our Council of Ministers. Executive is responsible to the legislature if they are making any mistake or this legislature can question. This is called as parliamentary form of government. So, all the activities in the country will be done by executive, but they are answerable to the legislature. They are answerable to the legislature. Understood? Now, what is happening here clearly? What happens here clearly? As I mentioned, there will be Council of Ministers. In a parliamentary form of government, there will be Council of Ministers. Currently, we are having more than 75 ministers in this. So, Minister of Education, Minister of Finance, Minister of Defence. Now, how the governance system in the country has been established, at the top we will be having ministries. Under ministries we will be having departments. Under departments we will be having offices. Under offices we will be having cells. Okay. Now, that means I can say any type of office is under one ministry. For example, we have Ministry of Finance. Under Ministry of Finance, we will be having 5 departments. Department of Expenditure, Department of Revenue, Department of Public Asset Management, Department of Economic Affairs, right? So, in this Department of Financial Services. So, every organization in the country will be coming under one ministry. Now, why I am telling this? This Ministry of Earth Sciences, this INCOIS is under Ministry of Earth Sciences. You need to know for the examination in the prelims, they will be asking this will be coming under which department or ministry. Understood? Know about the ministry, no need of department. Okay. So, INCOIS will be coming under Ministry of Earth Sciences. This is a separate ministry. Clear? Okay, na? Yeah. Now, the second thing here is that, see, here we had mentioned about marine heat waves. In our first class, we had discussed about heat waves. Now, that is about heat waves on the land. This is heat waves on the ocean, marine heat waves. So, what is the reason for this? Right? See, first of all, if there will be rise in the heat wave, rise in the heat of the surface of the surface of the ocean, will there be a problem? More cyclones, untimely rains, that is possible. Now, that means if there will be rise in the marine heat waves, there will be problem. And one more problem is that marine heat wave ante em ledu, heat peragadam. Now, on the oceans, now say how we will be facing problem in the summers? We need ACs and all. In the winters, we need some jerkins, or if you are staying in Delhi or in the northern part of the country, you need some heaters, right? Now, we can have that. What is the scenario of marine animals? అక్కడ అమ్మడానికి వోల్టాస్ టాటా ఎవరు లేరు కదా, రైట్? Now, that is a problem over there. This is leading to death of animals, death of marine species. For example, we will be having a species called as coral reefs. Very beautiful species, aesthetic species. Now, these coral reefs will be staying properly only between 25 to 27 degrees centigrade. If the temperature is less or more, they will be dying. Now, because of the marine heat waves, coral reefs in the Arabian Sea are dying. Coral reef is a very important topic for GS1 and GS3 mains. Okay, every alternate year we will be seeing question on coral reefs. Understood? Now, this marine heat waves is also affecting the health of the animals, species in the oceanic ecosystem. Andvainda? Now marine heat waves is nothing but rise in temperatures. Now what is the reason for the rise in the temperatures? Climate change, global warming, right? That is the case. Next. Page number 9, AP's page number 9, right bottom. AP's Tarluwada readies for Google's AI data center. AP's Tarluwada ready for Google India AI data center. See this, what had happened some 2 months or 2.5 months back, Sundar Pichai garu had announced a project in Visakhapatnam called as a data center, India's largest data center, India's largest investment of around 85,000 crores to 1 lakh crore in Visakhapatnam. Now that is going to be grounded in Tarluwada in Visakhapatnam. Now what is this project? This is basically a data center. Now what is the duty of the data center? This is from Google. You might have heard this, Google's data center coming to Andhra Pradesh. Now what this data center will be doing? See, you might have heard data is the new oil. If not, see, in the 20th century, 1900 to 2000, all the empires of the world are around oil. Crude oil ఎవరి దగ్గర ఉంటే వాళ్ళదే రాజ్యం, UAE and all. Now in the 21st century, the rich are around the data. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all these are rich because of the data. Now what is the data here? Our information. You might have heard about oil refineries. Oil refineries will be refining the crude oil to produce petrol and diesel. These data centers will be refining our data. Data centers are the, if data is the new oil, data centers are the new refineries that will be helping in processing of the data, storing of the data. Now say you are having Google Drive, whether the images or the Google photos are stored in your mobile. These are stored in some cloud of the Google. That means these are stored in some data centers. Understood? We are accessing them through the internet. Now they are constructing a data center in Visakhapatnam. Since there is rise of social media, everything, they need good data centers. Now they are building 1 gigawatt scale data center in our country. Okay. Now specialty of this data center is that this is centered around Visakhapatnam, and all the places in the world from USA to Southeast Asia, everything will be connected to the Visakhapatnam through underseas, under subsea cables. Subsea cables ద్వారా data transmission అనేది జరుగుతుంది, and it will be stored in Visakhapatnam. Understood? This is done through a project called as America India Connect. America India Connect, AI Connect. Okay. Next. Please. Sorry. Now see, first of all, this is mainly for prelims. Now say in artificial intelligence, what is India doing? Basically now in science and technology we will be having a topic called as AI. For artificial intelligence, for data management, data centers are very much important. Now in that you can quote this as an example. Now later on you will be learning, our data is being stored in Western countries. Means we are not having data sovereignty as of now. RBI and Government of India had come up with the data localization guidelines. Mana data ni mana desamlone process cheyali ani cheppi. This is an example of data localization. Understood? Page number 12. Indian ties with Africa signal stability in a turbulent world. See, every time when India looks or will be having discussion with any other nation, it will be having transactional relationship. But when we will be having relations with any of the African nation, we will be having family relations. That means India considers Africa as part of us. And in fact, what our Honorable Prime Minister had done, he had given a principles called as Kampala principles. Kampala principles, these are 10 principles which will be guiding the India's position, which will be guiding the India's relations with Africa. Andro I name cheppadante, the very first point, India's relations with Africa will be based on African priorities. Africa ki em kavalo mem adistam. There is a reason why I am stressing this point. In Africa is being seen by the USA, China, Russia as only a mineral chamber, mineral extraction place. But they are not trying to develop Africa. Now we are trying to develop Africa. We will be extracting from them. We are taking copper from DRC Congo. We are taking resources from Tanzania. But we are not leaving it. We are giving education. If you know, in our IITs, NITs, in our colleges, many African people will be coming and reading. We are providing free education to us. We are doing this through a program called as ITech. Right? Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation. Right? So we consider Africa as very important part of us. So to promote the relations further, what we had done, we are hosting India-Africa Forum Summit. This is a meeting between India and 55 African Union nations. Africa lo unna anni desalaki manaki madhyalo jarige meeting. Now this is scheduled in May. This is 4th India-Africa Forum Summit. Now what is the specialty here? Specialty Indian Day, this is formed in 2008 itself. First summit happened in 2008, second in 2011, third in 2015. After 11 years, we are conducting the summit now. Understood? India-Africa Forum Summit. That's all. We have to see what will be the outcomes of this meeting. Page number 14. Congress attacks government over nod for ethanol in aircraft fuel. In our science and tech, we had discussed about biofuel. Remember? We had mentioned about ethanol blending program, E20 fuel. Now, that E20 is about mixing ethanol in. Gurtunda మనం discuss చేసింది yesterday or day before yesterday? Day before yesterday. Right. Now, that we are mixing in the bike engines, right, and in the petrol. Now, what yesterday had happened, yesterday our ministry petroleum ministry had given the guidelines. They had allowed using ethanol in aviation fuel, flights lo vadaniki. Now, Congress is questioning this. Now, the background linkage is that the fuel which will be used in the aeroplanes, helicopters is called as ATF, aviation turbine fuel. Now, the alternative for this aviation turbine fuel, see we know that we want to reduce the emissions. Manam ninna adantha chusam. To reduce the emissions, we want to go from these fossil fuel based things to other alternatives. So, from the crude oil, we want to go for other alternatives. So, we are going for biofuels. Now, biofuels, ethanol and all. Now, ethanol is okay in the petrol. But yesterday, government is questioning this ethanol's mixing with ATF so that it will become sustainable aviation fuel. That means climate friendly, less emissions. Now, ideally, this sustainable aviation fuel ante normal ATF should be mixed with fuel generated from jatropha crop. How ethanol is being produced from sugarcane, barley and all, it is fine. But this jatropha crop is suitable to be converted to the biofuel and mixed with aviation turbine fuel. కాకపోతే నిన్న ఏం చెప్పారు, ఈ జట్రోఫా క్రాపే కాదు, we'll be using ethanol అని కూడా చెప్పారు. Now the problem is that there are no scientific studies which will be saying that whether mixing ethanol with the ATF will be safe or not. Next, ethanol is dense compared to this jatropha. Ethanol dense అయితే ఏమవుతుంది, more weight will be going to, we had seen in our space technology, when going up we need thrust. In that article also they had mentioned this ethanol cannot give sufficient thrust. If you see, yeah, in the second line itself, the supporting party raises safety concern, says ethanol is less energy dense than ATF and cannot produce enough thrust, right? So that thrust is not cannot be produced from, understood what I am telling? Static part ela link aitadi ardhamaitunda, right? So further, so they are questioning this. Now government had already proceeded with this. Now for the examination what we need to do, why we are trying to do this? The reason is that India had signed a convention called as Chicago Convention of International Civil Aviation Organization. This Chicago Convention says that mandatory blending of 1% of biofuel in aviation turbine fuel to make this sustainable aviation fuel. ఇది మనం అచీవ్ చేయాలి కాబట్టి we were unable to produce more from Jatropha. We are planning to mix ethanol. ఇది ఎలా పడితే అలా ఎలా చేసేస్తారు, జనాల ప్రాణాలు ఉంటాయి అక్కడ. వాట్ ఇఫ్ దట్ ఫ్లైట్ గెట్స్ బర్న్డ్ అండ్ ఆల్, దట్ ఈస్ దేర్ క్వశ్చన్, రైట్? This rupee fall we can see tomorrow. Okay, fine. We will meet tomorrow then. Thank you. Understood everything?